Jai Shri Mataji. Welcome to all for this Saj marriage workshops. I'm Marco. I'm calling from the living room of Shri Mataji here in Cabella, where we always come and take the vibrations for the marriages. And today we are meeting to talk about Sahaj marriages. This meeting is open to all yogis and yoginis who wish to apply for marriage or who are interested in knowing how Sahaj marriage works. We will have two sessions. One will be now at 10 a.m. Kabbalah time, the other one at 4 p.m. Kabbalah time. They will both be streamed on YouTube on the Foundation channel. And the meeting will remain available. So it will be recorded, remain available on YouTube for those who cannot join now and participate live. There will be a chance also to ask questions and and that will be done through WhatsApp and email. We will give you later the instructions on how to do that. So we will start with the meditation, then we will watch a video of Shri Mataji together, and then we will go through a presentation of Sahaj marriages. But first of all, I'm about to So we will start with a meditation. We can raise our Kundalini and put ourselves in one. We bow to you, Shri Mataji, Mother of the Universe, Mother of all beings, Giver of moksha, you who have given us a second life. We can put our attention on our Muladhara chakra. And within us, we can bow to Sri Ganesha. With humility and devotion. Sri Ganesha, you are the beginning of all. You are the most auspicious. Please give us your auspiciousness. Please bless us with your qualities. You are wise. You are innocent. You are pure. May we be in your image. You are the foundation of all. You are the basis of all. And you are present in every atom of this universe. Without you, nothing can be. And we bow to Shri Ganesh. Shri Ganesh mantra. Om Tvameva Saksha Shri Ganesha Saksha Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. We can take our attention on our mother Kundalini in our sacrum bone. And again, we bow to her as Sri Gauri, absolute purity, the reflection of Sri Mataji, of Sri Adi Shakti within us. Sri Gauri Kundalini Mata. Om Tvameva Saksha Shri Gauri Kundalini Mata Saksha Shri Adi Shakti Mata Shri Nirmala. Can gently invite Shri Kundalini to rise for Sasra. We can take our attention on our Nidanadna, left side, left channel. Mataji, you are verily Shri Mahakali. You have the mother that gives us pure love. Please fill us with your love. Please fill our left side, our left channel with your love. You instill within us the pure desire to be again one with you, one with the divine. Please dispel all useless desires. You are the one who manages our past. Please allow us to go beyond our past experiences, beyond our conditionings, to be fully in harmony with you. Shri Mahakali Bhairav. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahakali Bhairava Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi. Now we can take our attention on Pingala Nadi, right side. Shrimataji, you are verily Shri Maha Saraswati, the creator of all. You are the all doer. You are the one who looks after our future, our thoughts, our actions. May our actions be always in tune with you, with your will. May we be fully instruments of your will. You are the one who absorbs our ego. Allow us to go beyond our individuality. To be one with you. Shri Mahasaraswati Hanuman. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahasaraswati Hanumana Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mata Shri Nirmala Devi Namo. Now we take our attention on our central channel. Mataji, you are verily Shri Mahalakshmi. You have guided us through our revolution. And you have guided us to your lotus feet. Please allow us to be in the present. Allow us to be connected with you, one with you. Shri Mahalakshmi Sakshi. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo. And take both hands to our heart, center heart. Mataji, you are the Devi, our mother. Giver of love, giver of protection, giver of love. Please come into my heart. Allow me to worship you in my heart. Clean my heart from all attachments, all negative emotions. Clean my heart so that it will be so pure that you can be there. Please make my heart a source of love, of your divine love. Make me a channel of your love. Shri Jagadamba Durga Mata. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Jagadamba Durga Mata Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Take our attention to our Vishuddhi chakra. Mataji, you have created the Sahaja family. May we be connected and one with all other yogis and yogis in our family, in the world, beyond boundaries, beyond distance. May we enjoy being together in a pure and innocent. Shri Radha Krishna. Om Tvameva Saksha Shri Radha Krishna Saksha Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi. Can put our hand on our left Vishuddhi. Mataji, please bless us with pure relationships between all of us, brothers and sisters all over the world. Shri Vishnu. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishnu Maya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo. Now take our attention to our Sahasrara at the lotus feet of Shri Mataji in our Sahasrara. And we bow to her in our Sahasrara. And while we keep our attention in our Sahasrara, we will watch a video of Shri Mataji, 1988.
Now we are proceeding to Pune, and where we'll be having a proper session also for marriages and all that. We'll have to take a firm decision. I must speak about it today, that the steadiness of the mind is very important for the marriages. If you have certain concepts, and if you are whimsical, it's better you don't get married, because that's not found in Indian character. Once they decide for marriage, they are married forever. But if the mind is still wavering, going up and down, it's a trick of the mind that wants to play tricks with others and enjoys it. It's a sign of ego. Absolutely a sign of ego. And then you start playing games. You enjoy it. Yes, no, yes, no. You go on enjoying those games. And later on you play into it so much that your marriages can never be happy or successful. That means you are not yet matured for marriage. For marriage you have to be matured. But one of the reasons for this I find in the West is that we have had no training at all. Parents have never told you how to behave towards your husband, towards your wife, how to make a marriage successful, that it's a very important event. and that we should try to establish ourselves in the marriage system. Instead of that, we use it as a nice trick playing ground. We miss the point. Who is the loser? If you go on playing tricks like this and playing with your ego, whatever you may do, whatever type of marriages you'll have, you can never be happy. Now in the West, as you know, I lead another life also. And every person I've met, every person, whatever country they may come, nobody seems to be happy in their marriage. It's very surprising. It seems every wife finds something wrong with the husband finds something wrong with the wife. And they have funny, miserable faces. They don't look like married people, but as if like criminals. Or something has really gone wrong with them. There's no smile on their face. They look horrid because they have missed the point. Marriage is to be enjoyed, is for your enjoyment. Supposing one gives you the Amrut as they call it. And then you start playing trick with it. Who is the loser? So must know that we have to achieve that maturity and enjoy that love. Basically, if something is very wrong, or if there's no possibility of a proper marriage, in Sahaja Yoga we have arrangement to give it up. You can change your wife, change your husband, no problem. But there must be some reason behind it. Just for fun's sake, if you want to spoil your life, I'll try my level best to tell you that don't spoil your life and of the other person. But people enjoy sometimes spoiling somebody's lives when it comes to the ego part. They themselves cannot enjoy dog in the manger policy. Dog in the manger cannot eat the grass, but barks at any bull that comes to eat it. It's like this. Neither they will enjoy, nor they will allow others to enjoy. And when such stupid couples are there, I have such a headache all the time, reconciling them, talking to them, asking them. I mean, it becomes a marriage bureau for me. And sometimes I reach such a conclusion, no more marriages in Sahaja Yoga. I had enough of it. Actually, what have I to gain out of it? This is nobody who tries to understand. What I am trying is to make you happy, to get you good husbands and good wives, that you should have good relationships, you should have great people on this earth to be born, that we should have a society which is beyond all these nonsensical societies, which is so great that we can create a homogeneous family among ourselves of purity and of holiness. Instead of that, for petty nonsensical things, if there's a fight going on, one gets really fed up. Of course, one has to try. But if you are bent upon cutting your noses, how can I go on clipping them back? It's an eternal problem. If you marry, say, 75 people, you have the enjoyment of it. Now, if it's a ocean of Indian Ocean, say for example, but then you get the Pacific Ocean back on your head with all the cries and weeping and shouting and screaming and all sorts of nonsense that's going on. So I again say that now we are going to Pune, where all the marriages are going to be confirmed. If you go on like this, there's no end to it. Also, those people who come for marriages and deny twice, third time I don't ask them, because it's a joke going on there. You do not know how many nights I have spent selecting people. As it is, we are from 25, 30 countries. Yesterday you saw that. You have different conditionings, different styles, different everything. Heights different, ages different, faces different, aptitudes different. So combine all these things, so very difficult. Sometimes I think if you are overeducated, then better to give you a simple woman so that your little pressure is reduced. You can share with her. But if you have equally educated people, then both the heads may be so I have to think of many things and of vibrations. But somehow or other you can defy. And you try to defy it. All right, doesn't matter. But who is the loser is the point. Today I had to speak to you about this because in Sahaj we have to take the way it comes as it comes. Whatever comes in our way, we should take it. We should not sort of say, I have fallen in love. There's nobody falls in love. It rises in love in Sahaj. That is some funny idea, that one must fall in love. Because, you see, that means you must do something sinful or something absurd. So many people have told me, Mother, I'm not fallen in love with her. How can you fall in love? You fall into some ditch, or you may fall into some river or something like that. I didn't understand how do you fall in love. It's a solid stuff. So this absurd idea of falling in love has to be given up. If it means that you have felt the love, or if it means that you have the sensitivity of feeling the love, or something I can understand, little explanatory. But this falling in love business has been going on and on and on. Now, I would request you that in Sahaja Yoga we cancel this terminology. So, problems of marriages should not arise in Sahaja. You got chance for 1 month to decide for yourself and to find out for yourself. Little bit adjustments and understanding can create such a beautiful world for you. It's just waiting there, but suddenly you decide on some spot, suddenly you're all right, I find. At the spur of the moment I find, suddenly, no. I say, what's this? The horse was going all right. Suddenly what has happened? It has turned round. One can understand a horse, but I can't understand human beings. So this whimsical behavior suddenly can be very injurious to the growth of Sahaja. Whenever I go to England, there's a list of people from all over the country. This marriage has gone rotten, that has gone rotten, that has gone rotten. While I'm boasting to everyone that Sahaja Yoga marriages never fail. I know it's not true. But whatever I say is a mantra, ultimately it becomes the truth. So time will come when no marriages will fail. But you have to join hands with me and cooperate and should understand how much I've worked hard to bring about these events. And marriages should not make you happy or unhappy, because to marry is not the ultimate in life. But it happens, after marriage people get lost. They don't come to Sahaja Yoga. After that we are enjoying our honeymoon for the last 3 years. Oh, wonderful Sahaja Yogis who are leaders suddenly get lost. That also may be a fall in love, maybe, I don't know. But this kind of nonsense, even if it is 1 or 2, it's such a headache. And I really don't know how to solve these problems, because I think there's no problem at all. Only thing, you have decided not to enjoy anything. Supposing you don't want to enjoy the food, you can put some quinine on your tongue and then say, I don't like the food. Something like that. It's absurd. So try to help me in this. Otherwise, I'll give up this marriage business. I tell you. Because it doesn't give me any joy or pleasure. Even one person feels like that, I just don't understand. And for no rhyme and reason, you should not say no. First of all, you must look at yourself in the mirror. What are you? What is your education? What is your intellect? What do you expect from another person? How much money you have got? How much money the other person has got? Whatever you want to see, you can see for yourself. To begin with. Then compare. But the greatest thing you have to think about how many vibrations you have. How much Saj Yoga the other one knows. You are marrying for your ascent. If the other person has vibrations much more than yours, then you should not unnecessarily boast of nonsensical, gross things. The person is much subtler. Make use of that. Whether it's a woman or a man, I don't say. But I just say that see for yourself, where are you? Especially for beginners who are beginning to take to Saj Yoga. It's better to marry some matured Saj Yogi so that they can ascend very well, much faster. And also if the other party is not so good, maybe, we have to work. We have to save that person. After all, they are not yet matured, but they are Saj Yogis. They want to do. So try to work it out in that way. I think you will understand the seriousness. This is the most important work that ever happened on this earth so far. Your marriages are very important, and you have seen the photographs where the gods themselves have blessed you. Because of my consent, because of my selection, they all were present in your marriage, and how they were giving you tributes and how they were putting flowers on the brides. You have seen the photographs. If you have not seen, I'll show you. But if you are not a seeker, and if you are not seeking your higher ascent, then you go into nonsensical things and nonsensical ideas. So better be careful not to do such a thing. Don't think too much of yourself. Another note of caution, that you see the way Indians pamper their son-in-laws. So don't get mad. Also, they pamper their daughter-in-laws very much. It's done in India to create better relationships because we don't have the balloon of ego so much here. But here, as soon as somebody pays attention to you, you go off. So better be careful. It's a custom here to look after the son-in-law, to look after the daughter-in-law. It's a custom. Now it is ingrained from ages. It doesn't mean that you are God or you are in some superlative condition. But it's just that is how they pamper. They look after the daughter-in-law or the son-in-law, normally. And you should not carry away ideas, which I must tell you, because it doesn't happen in the West. I've seen they don't care. Once that they are married, they are finished. It's not so. So please be careful when you are marrying Indians. You'll find the parents will quite pamper you, look after you. They'll call you to their house, do this, give you money, give you ornaments, all kinds of things they'll do. But still, one has to understand that it's just a custom and should not get pampered. On the contrary, should feel blissful about it. But when it is done, I've seen suddenly they go off. And they think no end of themselves. Their value system goes off. It's because so far we have had no education, no training about marriages. I'm sorry I have to say this in the presence of many Indians. But Indians also, you see, expect you to understand their customs sometimes too much. For example, yesterday the garlands were given. At the time when the garlands were given, you are not supposed to garland your son. But some of you took the garland, put it in your. It's regarded as absolutely unmannerly. But it is so. So when we are in India, we have to understand Indians, but when we are in the West, we have to understand the Western people. For example, in the West, you must go on saying thank you, thank you, thank you, sorry, 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 sorry. It is so confusing sometimes. But you have to. You have to go on shaking hands with so many people. I mean, I sometimes shake hands with 900 people at a time. And while they are going back again, 900 people. But I think Namaste is a better idea. See, to shake hands with every sort of a person you catch from everyone. But it's a custom. It's a custom. So we have to understand this is a custom and which is not to be resented. It's not such a bad custom. There's nothing wrong in it. And maybe there is no logic. For example, garlanding yourself, there's little logic. You don't garland yourself, somebody else has to garland. And the ladies don't take garland on their, you see, because any man cannot garland the lady because it's the only husband has the right. See, so anyone won't garland. Or a son can garland the mother. But any man cannot garland any lady who is of a younger age or who is not yet married. And even if married, she has to be an old woman like me. Then it's all right. So these are customs very much ingrained and it's based on logic that you cannot garland yourself and walk on the street. Even if the leaders here are garlanded, immediately they take out their garland, except for the gods. I mean, I can carry with my garland, but I also take it out. So these are few customs which must be understood.
We again take our attention towards Sasrar at Shimataji's lotus feet and remain at awe before her. Her majesty, her greatness, her divine presence. Mataji, we surrender to you everything. Our body, our mind, our intellect, our emotions, our thinking, our actions, our past, our present, our future, our life, our spouse, our family, our work. We surrender everything at your lotus feet. So that pure and innocent we may be one with you. You can sing the three mantras. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Trigunaatmika Kundalini Sakshat Sri Shakti Mataji Sri Nirmala Devi Namo Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swami Moksha Mataji Shri Kamala Devi Namo Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Shri Nirmala Devi. Yes. So after the talk, we will start the presentation on Sahaj marriages. And as you can see below every slide, there is a phone number and an email address. So if you have questions during the speech, you can write to this email or WhatsApp number, and we will try and answer your questions while we go. So we start with the basics. What are Sahaj marriages? Sahaj marriages has been established by Shri Mataji as a ceremony in the early days of Sahaja Yoga, at the beginnings. Of course, they evolved through time and they changed a lot during all this time. But they are, as Shri Mataji said, a very sacred ceremony. So marriage is sacred, and especially Sahaj marriages, which are performed at the lotus feet of Shri Mataji, of the divine, are absolutely sacred. And what is a Saj marriage? It's a traditional marriage, meaning it is an arranged marriage. So the Sahaj marriage is arranged by the family of Sahaja Yoga. In this case, and the key, I would say, the key point is that they are arranged through vibrations. So in the past, Shimataji used to be in person engaged into the ceremony, and still now we come at her lotus feet and ask her for the permission and the vibrations to perform Sahaj marriages. So Sahaj marriages are arranged within the Sahaja family, but according to her indications on both the vibratory aspect and the human aspect. What are the principles that are at the basis of the Sahaj marriages? First is the fact that the collective is also a sacred place for Sahaj yogis and is a family. And within that family, there should be absolute pure relationships between brothers and sisters. And the purity of this relationship is very important, as Shimataji said, because it is the Ganesha principle of the collective. If the Ganesha principle is not there, is not respected, then the whole collective will crumble. It is so important. And that is why Shimataji has created this method of arranging marriages so that people will not go around to look for their partner, life partner. But the purity of relationship will be maintained and the marriage is arranged by Saj Yoga. And this is absolutely the key principle. That means, and Shimataji has repeated so many times, that people should not have impure eyes within the collective to look for other their partners within the collective. This will be done through Sahaj marriage. Another key point is that Shimataji wanted to break the conditionings. As she said also in the video, we all come from different backgrounds, we have different conditionings, different way of thinking, especially about marriages also, but in general. And these marriage conditionings or marriage traditions that there are in several countries are even harmful for the individuals, for the society. So Mataji wanted to break these conditionings, to break these harmful behaviors. And also through these global marriages that are matching people from often from different parts of the world, Shimataji wanted to create the global culture of Saj Yoga, which goes beyond all countries, boundaries, traditions, backgrounds, but create truly a global humanity. Finally, of course, marriage is also a key element for society, for the growth of the society, for the growth of the Sahaj family. There are a lot of realized souls that are still waiting to come on earth, and they will come only in Sahaj families, where they can practice Sahaja Yoga and what Shimataji has taught us. So that is also an element. And finally, the marriage in itself is a way to grow individually, as a family, as a couple, but also help the collective to grow through the dynamism and interactions of the married couple that can really help spread Saj Yoga and spread joy and love within the collective. So these are the basic principles. But there is a question, should every yogi or yogini marry in Sahaja Yoga? So the first advice that we give is have a look at the vows of Sahaja Yoga that are pronounced before Shrimataji at the marriage ceremony, and see if you are ready to stand for those vows, to really do what you promise in front of Shrimataji during the marriage ceremony. If that is something that is there, that acceptance, that surrender, and that total dedication is there, then of course this is the first step to, and also understand if you are willing to go through this procedure, through this process, through this arranged marriage, this traditional way of marriage, where the choice is not of the individual, but of the proposal, of course, comes from the vibrations taking, from the collective vibrations taking. Then the choice, of course, is always of the person, of the individuals. But are you really surrendered? Are you really willing? Are you really prepared to accept whatever will come through vibrations from Shrimataji? And that might be also very different from the expectations that we have. We all come with expectations on our future, and maybe coming also from our conditionings, from our past, from our ideas, from our thoughts, and we build that. Are we able and willing to go beyond that and accept what might be different from our expectation, maybe a surprise, but which is good maybe for our growth and evolution? And then, of course, if you wish to marry, you should be ready to start a married life together, build a family, maybe move also to another collective. And this will be the start of a new life, which might be much different from the one you had. And there is another point that we're not including here. And this point is a bit more related to how our collective, such collective, is made. And we can see even at pujas that the number of ladies that are in Sahaja Yoga is much higher than the number of men. And this is reflected also in the marriage process, where we received a lot of applications from ladies and a very much smaller number from men. So mathematically, it's impossible that all can have a marriage in Sahaj. That is why Shrimataji has spoken in some talks and have told that marriage can be also looked outside of Sahaja Yoga. So you can look for your partner outside of Sahaja Yoga, not inside, as we said before, never inside. But if you look outside and you find good people that are willing also to come to Sahaja Yoga and that are of a good nature and that they can be good for you, for your married life, for your Sahaj life, then you can look also outside and find a marriage outside of Sahaja Yoga, but not inside. So when Shrimataji started performing the marriages, the collective was not so big, and there were marriages happening in maybe small numbers in different places around the world. But then the more the collective grew and the marriage ceremony evolved. And we will refer as marriage committee to the marriages as Shimataji used to arrange them, let's say from the mid-90s onwards, which is basically the last the final form of marriages that Shimataji gave us. And at that time, from that time onwards, Shimataji established a regular marriage schedule that would happen 2 or 3 times a year, once in Ganapati Pule in December, once in Kabella, Ganesha Puja, Sri Ganesha Puja generally, and maybe once in a different place, like US or Russia or other places. So she would arrange marriages, collective marriages. This is one and another element of the nature of such marriages. They are collective in nature. So it's not a single marriage, it's a marriage of several couples all together. So these couples were matched in international pujas only. So it would be around Christmas puja, around Sri Ganesh puja mostly, and other international pujas like Diwali pujas often, or other. So this would happen only at international puja, and the applications would be collected only from the yogis who were there, present at the puja, not people that were not present or were not coming to the puja. Shimataji at that time appointed some yogis to take care, under her instructions, of the collection of information, collection of applications, the first analysis of the forms, even the matching, vibrational matching, and then they would come to Shimataji. And Shimataji would look at these matches and then decide to keep them, or to change them, or to cancel them. So she would review herself the final list of the matches. And at that same international puja, marriages would take place for the people who were there, of course. So what happens now? The marriages are still performed only at international pujas. And as far as IMC, International Marriage Committee, is concerned, we have arranged them mostly in Cabela and a few times also in Brazil. But the plan is to extend, of course, and perform marriages also in other places. As you know, there are also other ceremonies taking place in other countries, like in India also, and also at international pujas. But as far as I'm is concerned, in terms of managing and organizing the matches, it's mostly in Cabela. And we collect the forms, and we perform the same analysis of the parameters, of the human parameters, as Shimataji has told. So process is exactly the same. And then we find yogis and yoginis who potentially could be a good match to each other. Once we find them, then we take all the options in front of Shimataji, just here in the living room, as you can see from the picture. And we ask Shimataji to indicate which couples are to be matched together. We take the vibrations collectively, not individually, but collectively, because the collective nature of vibrations taking gives more confidence in the fact that the majority will feel the same vibrations. And because one person can always have a bad day, or something can happen. But that is why now when we take the vibrations, it's very important we take them collectively to guarantee that we are doing what Sri Mataji really desires. So the only difference now from now versus the past is that we also accept applications from people who are not present at the puja, either in Kabela or in other places. And why we do that? Because the collective has grown so much and people cannot always travel for personal reasons, because also economic reasons. They cannot always travel and come either to Cabela, to Brazil, or to other places to and get married there. So we have decided that we will match couples also of from people in yogis who are not coming to the place. That way, these couples will be able to marry later on, maybe legally in their own country, or maybe at another ceremony all over the world where they want, or they come here and they get married afterwards. This is the only real actual change. And how can we say that we we follow exactly the rule and the indications and the teachings that Shimataji gave us? Because the International Marriage Committee has been created not only by gathering together yogis from all over the world. This happened at the end of 2010. But we had the fortune of also having Uncle Nalgirka, who from 95 onwards was appointed personally by Shimataji. She told him and she taught him everything that needs to be known about marriages. She gave him all the mantras, the ceremony, how they should be made, what even the materials and the ways of analyzing and looking at the forms and finding the human parameters to be matching and how to take the vibrations. So all of this was transmitted to Uncle, and Uncle is part of the marriage committee, International Marriage Committee. So we come from several countries, but as you will see, we don't cover the whole world, of course, but that is not very important. What is our relationship to all the other Sahaj organizations? IMC is a group of yogis and yoginis which works a lot with all the Sahaj collectives to collect information, to manage marriages. We work with the World Foundation, we work with the Central Committee, but we are not part of any of these institutions and trusts. It's a separate group of yogis, so we act independently of all of them. But we work collectively, of course. Why? Because, first of all, as we said, our goal is to absolutely be compliant and uphold the teachings of Shimataji in this respect. So we really try to do things as she used to do for, as I said, the later part of the 90s onwards. And as I said, we are from different countries, but we don't represent our countries. So we don't look only at the forms of our country to make sure that they get matched or what. Every yogis that applies is like our son or our daughter, and we take care of them independently of where they come. Even, I would say, we are more involved when we are not so near the applicants. Because when we are too near the applicants, we even try to step back and avoid that our attachments, our feelings, our knowledge might get in between this process. And finally, we keep absolute confidentiality about the data. As you know, the forms are requesting several different information about personal information, about previous marriages or previous history or medical. So they're very sensitive information, and the IMC keeps them very, very protected and confidential. They will never go out from IMC outside. Of course, every applicant will send this information to their local coordinator, to their country coordinator that can view them, can review them. Then they will come to AMC, but that's it. Nobody else will be ever able to see them. So, what do we? What are the activities that we do? As I said, we built the protocol, the ways of working based on Shimataji's teaching. Then we use that protocol to perform matches and marriages. And throughout the process, of course, we organize the process, we inform all the collectives, we manage the queries, we collect the forms, and then we also work with local collectives to resolve maybe issues that sometimes arise with marriages. And we help also local collectives in case they want to do some local trainings or events like this to be able to start spreading the culture, knowledge, and understanding of such marriage within their countries. We don't speak all the languages of the world, so in many cases, local collectives will arrange local initiatives, but we can, of course, help with that. How do we collect forms? What is the way? In the past, we used to collect forms in paper. They were handwritten, and then these papers were sent to the local coordinator who had to sign, and then to the country coordinator. And especially when we went through the pandemic, we had to find another way of doing things, which would allow also not direct contact of people, but also a simpler and quicker way to fill up the form, get it approved from the coordinator, collect this data, store this data also for us, for IMC, for future inquiries. And so we created a portal with the help of some such yogis, which I want to thank, that are Sartak and Anuj. They helped us a lot to create this portal based on a professional software that is used by big companies too. And this basically is to be able to guarantee sort of, the confidentiality, the fact that we have a secure system that stores all of your data. This portal is available for all, but not all can access the portal. So we give access, first of all, to country coordinators. And country coordinators will set up all the local coordinators that generally approve marriage forms. And they will inform us that these are the list of people who can be set up on the portal. And then they will send us the list of the applicants. So if you are an applicant, you will have always to go through your local coordinator or country coordinator or marriage coordinator. In each country, there is a different structure. You will have to know what it is and go through them. They will refer you to IMC, and then only then we will set you up on the portal. And then we will see briefly how it works. So once you are approved, you can create a login on the portal and you will fill the form online very simply, very easily on the portal. And it's the same form, same information that we requested since 95 onward. What are the dates to fill a form? The dates are shown in this slide that you see. So we will accept forms until 7th of July. We will give a few days more, of course, for coordinators to review the forms, to maybe ask questions, to interact with applicants, and to approve about around the 10th of July or so. Then once we have collected on the portal all the information, we will have to go through each and every form and see if all the information is there, if we need to clarify some things, if all the documents are there. And after that, we start the analysis of the, let's say, human parameters, like Shimataji was saying, age, of course, education, physical features, the collectives, where they're from, all the parameters that are relevant to create a good match from the human material standpoint. And that will take around 1 month. And then we will all meet here the 10 days before the Sri Ganesh Puja. And all together, collectively, sitting here in front of Shimataji, we will take the vibrations. And we will create the matches according to Shimataji's guidance. And these matches will be announced the week before Sri Ganesh Puja and marriages. So marriages will take place on 17th of September this year. And the announcements will start on Tuesday, the 12th. So we moved a bit earlier. In the past, we started announcing on Thursday, but of course, it is better if the yogis and yoginis have some more time to get to know each other. So we will start announcing from Tuesday, the 12th. On Tuesday, we will announce especially the matches with yogis that are present at the ceremony. So like Shimataji was doing, he was announcing the matches for the people who are there to get married now at the puja itself. So those will be announced first. So please make sure that you specify properly if you are coming, if you are not coming, if you are in doubt, give us this information, because it's very important that the people who are coming are matched with the people who are coming, and the people who are not coming maybe are matched with the people who are not coming or else. But so that people who want to marry there at Sri Ganesha Puja can marry, and people who instead cannot marry at Sri Ganesha Puja will be able to marry later on. That is very important for us to know. Okay, we come to this slide. I will give you some indications on how to apply for Sahaj marriage. So, and then we will see it also on the platform. And again, if you have questions or anything, just write on email or WhatsApp. So first of all, key thing, I mean, this is the key thing for our Sahaj life, meditate. Meditate, and meaning do some introspection on your state in relation to marriage. Am I ready? Is my heart really clean, pure, ready to open to another person? Have I got any expectations? Have I got any ideas, conditionings? Have I got any problems and limitations that I cannot? These are very important also. And also for us to know, it's very important that, I don't know, I cannot move from a country for 3 years. It's very important to know, because maybe the other person also cannot move. So it's important to be able to match people who can start a married life. Well, so meditate, introspect, and listen to Shimataji's talk. If you go to the www.sahajamarriages.org website, you will find some talks of Shimataji about marriages, but also you can find on Amruta other talks. Listen to what she says, like to the talk we heard today. This is very old talk, 1988. But Shimataji has told many things that are still relevant. And then also talk with the local country coordinator or local coordinator to know what is the process, how to apply, what you should do. In some cases, also some more documents are requested in some collectives, some trusts, some countries. So you have to know about that. There is a local process which is different. There are huge countries where we need to have approvals from local, from state, from country coordinators. There are very small countries where maybe it's just one person that does this work, or there are marriage committees in your country that you have to speak with them. And speak with them not just about the process, but maybe also if there are some people, some senior yogis, you want to ask for advice that you trust, do that and ask. We try to give you all the information through these workshops. We also do evening programs where we interview couples, and there are some recordings already. We have done 2 evening programs where there are some beautiful interviews to couples that are telling their experience, the joy and the difficulties they went through to make the marriage work. And this is also very, very good to see the experience of other people and to confront yourself with other people. So this is a general preparation to apply. And then we provide a document which is called the Principle and Protocols. It's similar to what we are discussing today, but goes a bit even more in detail in some cases. So we advise you to read and see again what are such marriages, how it works, and so on. And don't just think that it's something that you really don't need, or it's important to be aware of how it works and what are the principles behind it, and maybe reading it with more attention and once more can make you aware of the responsibility, the implications, and the relevant details that you need to know. And then taking the decision to apply, take your time, meditate again, try to feel the vibrations and see if you feel that you're ready and you wish, and it is your time to apply for the year. Do not feel pressured by other people. I mean, this happens sometimes that we put the application because other people tell us to do so, but it's not necessarily, we are not totally convinced about it. It's not the way to do. And also, there are some personal situations that are there that are understandable in some, especially in some cultures, in some countries where family has a role into the Sahaj marriage. But in the Sahaj marriage, it's not the direct family, actually, but it's the Sahaj family that has a role. So this should be understood. Sahaj marriages are decided by the Sahaj family. And if there is an application for a Sahaj marriage, there should be also the understanding that we are surrendering to Srimataji, this marriage. And then of course, a decision can be taken later on, but that attitude should be there. It's not something that we do because we are in a difficult situation and we think that marriage will solve it, because marriage will be another responsibility, big responsibility on top of your situation. And it's not like a medicine that you take and you magically resolve your problems. In fact, it might make it worse. You come to marriage when you are ready, when you think that you have resolved the key things in your life. And don't go for marriage for other reasons, but because you really want to take this path of growth, creating a family, and being part of the collective as a couple for the future of your life. And then you can go on the portal, fill your application, put all your information. Know that we will print all the applications and we will take them here at Shrimataji's Lotus Feet for a review. So it's something that will come to Shrimataji. Be considerate, be responsible, fill your form properly, put all the information truthfully and fully and completely. Don't do it superficially, but you have to do it. Of course, some yogis or yoginis maybe do not know properly English, so they will need some help, and that is okay. But it's something that you will have to do. And the photo is also important. As I said, these pictures, these printouts, they all are presented to Shrimataji at her feet. So please provide a nice, clear photo of your face, of who you are, and not something like this where you cannot understand or you are.
It's not showing. That hasn't been expressed.
Okay. So not this.
Maybe go a bit. Maybe go a couple of slides.
So this would be what we expect to see. Again, information in the application form should be filled with honesty and with fully, so that the information that we receive are used according to what Shrimataji told us and taught us, and that we can find the right match for you. So, in summary, how to apply for such marriage? Meditate, listen to Shrimataji's thoughts, and so on. And here you have the list of the actions that you would do. Please do it on time. So start now if you need to think about it, to meditate about it, to get in touch with other people so that we will get your form in time and we can put you in the process at the right time. Otherwise, if you come too late, maybe there will not be potentially already a good match or possibility of a match for you. So how to access the marriage portal? As we said, you have to talk to your country coordinator to get access to the portal. The coordinator will request access for you. Oh, same.
So there's a question, is there any option in the application form so that we can get matched in our country?
Okay, so
It's from Ammo South.
okay, yes. I will answer to this question maybe later on when we go through the form.
Okay, and another question is where they can get Schematology protocol. Our coordinator in Slovenia did not get it. Is it possible? They send me the protocol.
Yeah, sure. We generally send to the coordinators. If they didn't get, we'll resend, but we can also send individually if needed. So to get access to the marriage portal, as I said, the coordinator will request for you, and you will receive an email. By clicking on this email, you can sign up and create a login. And once the login is created, there will be a two-step process to create an application form. First of all, you will have to create an ID by putting the basic information about yourself: date of birth, place of birth, name, surname, and key information that are not changing. And that will create an ID. This ID is used for privacy reasons. With this ID, you can create an application form, and the application form will be connected to your ID and will be submitted to a local coordinator. Local coordinator will review it and will add his own information or even ask you for information through the portal. So basically, there are options to request information, and this will be transformed into emails that will go to the applicant or again back to the coordinator. And finally, after you submit to your local coordinator, you will receive a confirmation email. And from the portal, you will be able to track the status of your application. By logging in, you will see on top right, there is your profile picture and your name. And if you look at the request that you created, the request form of the application form that you created, you will see what is the status of your form. If it has been reviewed by your coordinator, if it has been sent to the IMC and acknowledged by the IMC, or if there is still some information that is maybe missing and we need more information from you. When it's acknowledged by the IMC, means it is fully into the process. And then, of course, if you are announced for a match, we will announce, as I said, in Cabela starting from Tuesday onwards. We will stream also the announcements so that you know wherever you are all over the world about the match. And then get in touch with your match. This is a proposal that the IMC is making to you. And you have to talk to each other and go through discussions about your background, your life, whatever you have written in the form should be exposed.
The question those who have filled the application last year, do they also have to sign up, fill your application this year?
Yes, correct. So now I'll show you on the portal how it works. And basically, who has already filled an application form will not need to do the step 1, creating the ID, but will have to redo the step 2, meaning filling the application form. Why? Because they might have changed country, they might have changed job, they might have had different experiences the year before, they might have new limitations or conditions that they have. So the form will have to be refilled, but the SAJ ID that has been created last year doesn't need to. So surrender is one big part, of course, of this process. And we also, as IMC, try to totally surrender to Shimataji whatever we do, and we try to be fully her instruments and channels. So this is something that really is a key part of the process. But now I would like to go on the portal and show you the process that happens. Okay, so now you're seeing a web browser. When you are set up for the first time on the portal, you receive an email with the following text. Welcome to International Sage Marriages Portal. Step 1, applicant registration. Step 1 is your profile, registration of your profile. So once you receive this, you can click on sign up link that is included in the email, and you put the email that sorry, here the full name. I'll put my name. You write a password that you want to use for your access. So email address is already filled up from the email. You just have to put name, password, and sign up. Save your password, and you are sent immediately to the step 1 of the process, the applicant registration. So you click on the register your account, and you will have to again add some more information, which is name, surname, and then gender, date of birth, date of self-realization. Again, we can, yeah, please write it in a format which is international that we can understand, because some yogis use their own language to write it, and sometimes it's not always easy to understand. Try to fill the form in English language, then you can put whatever nationality you are, passport number, this you can put, it's not a mandatory field, but if possible you can put. Profile photo, upload. This will open a window by which you can choose a photo and upload whatever photo you want of yourself. Let's see if I have a photo. I don't. The contact number, the phone number is very important, because we might need to ask something. We will definitely use the portal to communicate to you, but contact number is an important element, and please add your country code, like 39 for Italy, and the phone number, whatever it is, if there is an alternate contact number, and then terms and condition. If you click on I accept, we expect that you have read the privacy policy and liability agreement document that is attached to the portal. Why we do this? Because, as we said, privacy is very important. And there are some regulations that are more and more strict about privacy. So you have to be aware your data, where is stored and who can access it. This you don't need to amend. And then you can send. Oh, profile photo. Okay, I'll just put a picture of. And then send. And this is your basic profile. The picture is here below, of course. Here you can see a picture, which is not good, but you will have to send proper picture. What you can see up here is your Sahaja profile number. Sahaja ID is number 711 in this case. This profile ID is very important because it will be used also for the application form. And as I said, you can always go on this button, request, and click on created by me, and you will see your Sahaja ID number. After you have created an application form by going here into request, you will also see the marriage application form. So first request you have done is to get an ID. Now, if we go back to the main page by clicking on International Sahaja Marriage, you have completed step 1 and you have got an SYID. You can go to step 2. Step 2 is the marriage application. You click on marriage application and it will start showing up all the fields. So do you have an SYID? Yes, of course, because I've just created it. And it's very important to specify, because if you don't have an SYID, then application won't be accepted. You will have to go back to step 1. Write your address, your city, country, again, contact number, present country means the country where you are presently living. Nationality is, of course, your nationality. Height, height and weight. This is to be included in centimeters and in kg. If you measure in another unit, then you can click here and you can use a calculator to convert from, example, feet and inches, 5 feet, 7 inches, convert, and you get the centimeters, 170, that you can put back here in the field. Same for the weight, there is a calculator. Highest education, please fill up what is your highest education with details of the title, education title.
This online marriage application system is overcomplicated. The old way was simple, easy and fast.
Somebody is saying that it is overcomplicated, but actually the information that we collect are basically the same as before. Nothing has changed. Using an online portal is a way to collect the information. I mean, it's less job to retype all the information, from the application form to the, I don't know, a database, because you must imagine that, like, now we are receiving up to 800 or even more forms. So in the olden days, there were much less. There were maybe 100 or so. Now it has become very difficult to collect all this information and use this information to find the potential matches. So that's why these systems help us and actually make it more easy to actually go through the process with local coordinators, with country coordinators, because you don't have to print, send to somebody, and personally, or maybe send a DHL to us. Occupation. Oh, here, sorry. Education level, then you can write, what was the institute, the discipline, the highest degree obtained, and the previous degree. So you will have to list the key 2 or 3, if you want, degrees that you got. Occupation is just the details of your job profession, and whatever details you feel it is relevant. Annual income is to be included in euro, and again, there is a calculator to convert from any currency. Interest and skill is another field which is important to know if you have interest, like in arts or in other fields or interest. And that is also an indication, of your human interests, and that could be an element also in case to find potential matches. Languages spoken. Here you can write the language, the specific language, and the level of fluency. A would be native fluency, or B would be fluent but not native language. Like C is conversational, so you can converse in the language but you don't know it properly. And E is elementary, so D is elementary, so it's basic knowledge of the language. And you can write for all the languages that you know. Health history, very important. Response to the question, have you had any major illnesses and do you have health problems? This is important to know, because when we match and there is health issues, better know it before for the other person. Otherwise, this can create problems afterwards. And also some health conditions are very important, very relevant, and maybe can be an obstacle also for marriage. So this has to be known in advance. Previous seeking history or religious background. This is basically details of previous seeking history. This field is quite important. Number of previous marriage application and matches. So here you can write if you applied in the past, how many times you applied, how many times you were matched, if you were married. And here in below just this field, you can click if you had already a marriage in Sahaj, or if you had a marriage outside, or if you had some previous relationship which did not end in a marriage. So this you can choose, or if you didn't have any at all relationship in the past, you can just click no previous relationships. Here you can put more details about previous marriages, matches, or relationships so that we know what happened, if it is relevant for your applications. But definitely, if there was a marriage, at least we should know how many years you were married and the place where you were married, or even in case of matches or important relationships. Are you legally free to marry? This is another important question, yes or no. You should be legally free to marry, to apply for Sahaj marriage. We do not accept applicants that are not legally free, because you have to complete your previous marriage through a divorce process, and then you can apply. And because you will be matched with somebody who wants to marry you, and then if you cannot marry, the match will probably not move forward. There is another field for Sahaja history of the family. This you can explain. Are you willing to change country after marriage? This is a very important field, because if you are not willing to change country after marriage, you cannot be matched with somebody who is not willing to change their own country. So otherwise, you cannot have a family life together. So this is a very important field to explain. Whatever additional comment you have, maybe even on this question, like I would change, but only after 1 year or something like that, you can put in this final field, which is called responsibility, commitment, and conditions, where you can explain if you have some conditions, I have to finish my studies, or I have to finish some work, or if you have any specific responsibility, taking care of kids, parent care, or situations, I don't know, visa situations even, or other conditions or requirements that you might have. Like before we said, okay, is there a place where I can say that I want to marry in my own country? This is the place where you would add that information. Of course, that limits the possibilities of Filmatogy to find you the best match, the more condition you put. But it is possible to put conditions. And it's very important that we are aware, because if you don't put it, you are matched with somebody from another country and you will refuse just because he or she is not from what you wanted, then it's a match that has failed. So better put it here clearly, and we will do our best to understand your situation. And but our aim will always be to follow the vibrations and provide a match which is vibratorily the best for you.
There is a question about previous topic.
Yeah.
About the Sahaja.
Yeah.
Please reiterate that we don't. If you applied last year, you don't have to.
Oh yes, yes, exactly. So question about Sahaj ID. If you have already applied, you have already created the Sahaj ID last year. You don't need to recreate the Sahaj ID. Step 1, you don't need to do. You will need to do only step 2, meaning the information that are changeable, that can change year after year. But if you have not done an application form last year, if you have not registered on the portal, you have to go through the 2 steps. And again, Sahaj ID is being created to guarantee privacy, so that your name doesn't fly around in emails and so on. Other very important field, well, local Sahaj center name and address. This is important because we will not, 99% of the cases, match you with yogis or yoginis that are from the same center, because this, Mataji said, is like your more intimate family group, and that is not advisable. This field is very extremely important because this field defines the coordinator email address who will be able to see your application form, to review it, and to provide his own feedback. So before doing an application form on the portal, please ask your coordinator, local or central, whom to send your form. And when you get that information, put it in this field, coordinator's email address, because this will be the next step. If this step goes wrong, your application doesn't go anywhere. You might have even to redo it.
There are people asking if you can do in the browser like it.
Then we reach the final part of the form. Will you be present in Cabela for the marriage ceremony? And this, as I said, is an important field because Shimataji used to match only people who were coming for the ceremony, but we have extended to give chance to everybody. But the people who are come here to marry, they have to know if their match is there or not. So please respond clearly to this question. And if there is any problem or issue, write it up in the other field that I told you about all other information and requirements. Marriage occasion is, of course, Sri Ganesha Puja 2023. Here you can also upload documents if required by your own local process, or if you are a divorcee, so we request to see the divorce documents, or if you have a specific medical history, medical illness, which is important and relevant, you will have to add the documents here by browsing on your computer. Finally, consent to terms, again, is referring to the privacy policy. And then you can send the form. Once you send the form, and I will just cannot send because I didn't fill it. But once you send the form, you will receive an acknowledgement, an email saying that your form has been sent, and with the link that will allow you to go back to your form anytime by just clicking the link. Or you go to the home page of the Sahaj Marriages portal, and from the Sahaj Marriages portal, by clicking here in request created by me, you will be able to see both your Sahaj ID and below here your application form with its status. In order to reach this portal, you have the email that we sent you, or you can reach it through the www.sahajmarriages.org website. On this website, you will be able to see an introduction, Shrimataji's advice, and there are some videos here that you will be able to see and to watch. And access the portal from here. So click on marriage portal, and by clicking here, you will reach the marriage portal. Yes, one question.
If we are not going to be present in Cabela, then what is the Puja ceremony?
Okay, if you are not present in Cabela, so you will write, no, I'm not coming to Cabela. we will send you an email with the information about your match. So we will get email address, phone contacts of both, and you will have to get in touch. You will have to talk and discuss, and once you are clear that you want to move forward with a marriage, then you can choose to either do a legal marriage in any of the two countries. So you can go to to the countries of one of the two matched individuals and get a legal marriage, or you can do a Sahaj marriage in any of the ceremonies that take place around the world this year or next year, only in the following years. Can be Brazil if we do it in Brazil, can be India if there are marriages in India afterwards. You can come here even following year if you want, and in the meantime you also can have a legal marriage. Sahaj marriage performed in Cabella is not a legal marriage. So you will have to register it officially in one of the countries of the couple. Other question? Let's see, I'll just share.
About this match in the same country. There is no more question.
Okay, yes. As I told, yeah, if you have conditions that you wish to have some particular requirements for matches, like being matched in the same countries, you can write it in the form. These are the references of either documents or websites where you can get more information. And there is also a book called Marriage in Sahaja Yoga, which contains all the excerpts from all the speeches of Shrimataji about marriage. And you should be able to find it on Amrut. If you have in the future also some more question, you can send it via email on our email address, and we'll be able to respond.
There's a question. If they created Sahaj ID last year, can they upload a new recent photo with the previous ID?
Okay, you should attach it to the application form. So I think, I'm not sure you can edit the photo from the profile, but you can attach it to your new application form, and we will update it ourselves. Okay. So I hope
there is going to be a session for
if you are matched, you are not able to be in Cabella, of course, we will ask you also to confirm that you are moving ahead with the match. And we expect you to confirm within some 2 or 3 months' time. Because people who are here, of course, they meet, they have the chance to meet, to talk, and to convey their decision immediately, whether to continue, whether to wait for some time, and to get to know each other better. But for the people who are not here, we will need an email confirmation back from yourselves that, okay, we wish to marry, we will marry next year in Cabella, or we will marry legally in our country.
Don't
So-
have to resubmit them.
Exactly. So you don't have to resubmit or do anything. The match has been done, and this match can be used for next year Cabela, for all the other ceremonies that are taking place around the world, India, Brazil, or wherever, US if there are in US. That email is what certifies that you got a match, and that you don't need to reapply at any time.
The same person is asking, it is mandatory to use all Sahaj ID, or can they create a new Sahaj?
No, you don't need to create a new Sahaj ID because, I mean, it's
No,
just
I
more
think
work.
The person asked about photograph.
Yeah. It's just more work for nothing. I mean, you will be twice on the platform, but with no actual value. If you create a new Sahaj ID, there is no value in creating that.
The photographs can be edited.
Yeah.
By us.
Yeah. We can edit the photographs. Yeah.
You just attach it to the file where you can upload your file and attach a new photograph.
Okay, we're checking if there are more questions. Not getting more questions. So I would say if you have more questions, please write to us. And
Another question.
okay, another.
Are non-Sahaj family members allowed in the ceremony?
Non-Sahaj family members allowed in the ceremony. Yes, of course. Why not? They can come to the ceremony and they can be there and
They have to
enjoy
respect the place.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. What is the age restriction you put for the selection? Example 20 to 25, 26 to 28.
Well, age is definitely a parameter. We try to have a age difference of 2, 3, maximum 4, depending also on the age group. The more age the age goes up, the more difficult it is to find matches. So there might be a bit larger differences, and but the difference could be smaller for younger yogis. And sometimes where we do not find, we extend a bit the parameters, but always, of course, the final decision comes through the vibrations. But generally, these are the rough ranges.
Someone also asking, is it possible that they fly to Kabbalah only after the match is confirmed?
Okay, in some cases, yes, we had this request to come to Kabbalah only after match is announced, and it is possible if you can arrange it quickly and be there quickly. Of course, if you are already planning to come and you are there, you plan to be there, then better be there from Tuesday onwards so that you can meet immediately your match if you are announced. During the week before the Ganesha Puja, generally there are events during the week, so it will be a chance also to stay in the collective, to enjoy the vibrations, and to work on yourself. Okay.
Marco.
Then we can again put our attention on Shimataji's lotus feet.
1 minute, Marco.
Thanking her with all our gratitude. for all that she has given us. Self-realization, and a Sahaj family to share it with, and a possibility to spread her teachings all over the world, and to do it by building our own family within the Sahaj family. And for all the blessings that she gives to the married couples, and for all the blessings that she gives through this special ceremony, and for all the love that she has given us, she gives us, and she will give us. Thank you, Shimataji. We can say the third mantra of the sasana. Oh, Tvameva Saksha Shri Kalki Saksha Shri Sahasrara Swami Moksha Pradani Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Shri Nirmala Shri Bolo Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Mataji.